Hey everyone, welcome back. So today's video, we're gonna be doing some spring decorating here in kind of like my dining living room space, kind of like the transition area. So my living room is right behind me and this is kind of a dead space in the house. And so I purchased this sideboard slash credenza slash console table, if you will, from IKEA. If you're interested, I will link it below. Very proud of myself. I actually put this together all by myself. So let me just give you a look. So there is what it looks like. We're going to actually be decorating the entire thing. I was going to solely focus on the top, but I think it would be beneficial to show you how I actually utilize this piece. There's some very functional, practical aspects of it that aren't decorator per se, but definitely want to show you how I'm going to use this piece in my house as a whole and not just decorate the top. I'm the type of person that is very interested in how people lay out their homes, how they organize and store things, especially when you have a smaller home. I own a smaller home, and so storage can be quite an issue, which is what kind of spurred on the purchase of this in the first place. So let's get started with filling out the doors and the drawers and what I put in all those spaces, and then we're going to decorate the top. So each of these doors opens, and I like that there's glass on here because I really enjoy seeing the things. I feel it's a great way to add color, and as long as you keep things organized. I guess if you're not the most organized person, this might not be the best furniture piece for you, but for me, I love the glass. I just feel like it makes a very open, free-flowing look, and it gives me the opportunity to decorate. But like I said in the beginning, we're gonna be doing some functional decorating here, if you will, in the beginning. I do have a drawer. I don't really keep anything in there, or do I? Psych, I do keep some napkins in there. The bottom of this, we also are not going to change up, but that is where I keep all of my cookbooks. And so let's start off with the right side of this credenza. Here's where function and practicality come in. I ordered 2 of these off of Amazon. I will link everything that I'm able to in the description box below. I love these. These are collapsible wine racks. They come in other colors. I, of course, wanted the white just to keep with the color scheme here in my home, but I ordered a couple of these because I used to store my wine in other places, but I really thought that this would be a great place to keep it behind glass, kind of in a cooler area of the home, and so I'm going to set this right down there. It actually fits perfectly. Would you believe I don't even have any wine to put on that rack? Yes, I have consumed it all. I just haven't stocked up, like gone out and buy a ton of bottles at once in a while. I've kind of gotten into the habit of buying and drinking, kind of pairing a little bit more with my meals. So to kind of cover up that empty rack, I am going to display my Wine Folly book. Love this book. If you are new to wine, or you want to learn more about wine, or you've been a wine drinker for years but you don't actually know how it's made, or the different types of varieties, and there's just so much information in this, but let me just stop you because you're thinking, I ain't gonna read an informational book. Yeah, me either. Which is why I bought this one, because it's simple. You literally can just go to the great variety. It breaks everything down. So if you're a wine lover, recommend this book. I promise we're gonna get to the fun decorating part. So here's a little decorator element. Picked this up at Hobby Lobby on clearance. It's really funky. It feels kind of weird. It's like rubbery. It just looks like something my kids would destroy or my cats would throw around the house at 1 in the morning, which coincidentally they did all last night for about an hour and a half. So sleeping didn't happen, but I'm just gonna throw this right down there to add a little bit of green. Okay, so envision this is actually in a dedicated dining space or just someplace where you do a lot of entertaining. I store these in the next shelf because I love these. These are from the Temptations line that is sold at QVC. Oh my gosh, these are a soup and sandwich set, and I use these whenever I make French onion soup. These little crocs are adorable. So I have the black and white that I'm actually gonna face outward. How beautiful are these for like having your girlfriends over, just soup and sandwich, you know, one-on-one, outside, inside, just precious. So I'm gonna set those on the shelf with the black ones facing out because black is what really goes with my house at the moment. final shelf really holds practical things that I don't have storage elsewhere in this home, but they actually go color-wise, and so I'm fine with them being noticed. But I'm going to be storing a lot of my chargers that I use for decorating my table just on that top shelf. And like I said, it's not ideal, but because they kind of go and it's, you know, it's a plate storage unit, that's where I'm going to stick these. And then on the other side, same idea. I'm just going to be sticking a lot of my decorative plates that I use for tablescapes on the top shelf here on the other side. I absolutely love decorating, but sometimes there does need to be that practical element, and you can always disguise anything in like a clear area by throwing some greenery in front of it, or some sort of decorative item, maybe a decorative plate if you have space to kind of conceal the more practical items. But in this scenario, I'm okay with them showing just because they do kind of go with the whole color scheme and purpose of this piece. On the next shelf, this is fun. I actually recently bought this at a kind of like a gift shop slash antique store. This is an old sewing drawer, and I love the little details on it. Actually, my favorite part is the front with the sunburst. But in this, I store all of my napkin rings. And this would be one of those scenarios where it's okay to store this because it looks like greenery and such, and it's kind of fun to just have them all piled in there. And I'm just gonna set this on the next shelf. And then same thing, my wine rack is going to go on the bottom. I have this adorable sign, I cook with wine, and sometimes I even add it to the food. It's perfect. The colors and what the sign and everything, I just think it's super cute, and we're gonna set that right here. And I have this random assortment here of florals, some left over from other projects that just didn't need anymore, and so I kind of put them all together. I really love a wildflower nature look. I love to incorporate that into my home. I secretly dream of living in like the English countryside. I'm gonna set those, kind of tuck them in behind the sign here. Now I have this really awesome basket, and I initially bought this because I just love the style of it, and I didn't know what I was going to use it for, and then I bought this piece of furniture, and this just works out perfectly to hold all of my napkins, my cloth napkins that I switch out for the different tablescapes. And so I just rolled them all up, set them in this basket, and on that final little shelf, that's where these are going to live. I have another cookbook. I've shared this one a few times, especially recently, the Half-Baked Harvest. I just love the colors. This, to me, this cover is the epitome of, I would say, my house. I love the rustic, I love the whites and the creams and the neutral, natural tones, but then there's pops of color. And so this I display, and I'm gonna put it right down there. And then just a couple little fill-in things. This is just a fake plant here from IKEA. You can actually buy these plants and the tins separate. So if you wanted, actually just the black would look cute. But I do have the silver, which I do have some cooler tones going throughout the home here, especially in this color scheme. And then I just have this cute little bunny I picked up at home. I know spring, I think spring is bunnies. I personally am leaving mine out. Perhaps some of you have moved past bunny season. I have not. Okay, so let's do the top of the table. I'm gonna start off with a runner. I really am big on some sort of placemat or runner or something. First and foremost, for practical reasons for my home, I have 2 cats that love to chase each other in the middle of the night, and I have 2 young children, young being like almost 9 and 10 years old. And so, you know, there's a lot of commotion that goes on. So this really helps keep things in place. So maybe this isn't your aesthetic, but it's totally mine. This particular one is, it's either from Kirkland's or Hobby Lobby. This is a jute, which is a natural material. I love natural materials. I like the colors, the tone, the texture, everything that it brings. And so I'm just gonna lay this over the top of the console table here. So whenever I do any sort of tablescape, I usually like to start in the center. And so I have this riser. I got this at home. I actually bought this for a cake, but we're not going to be using it for that today. We're going to use it for the purposes of elevating our lighting elements. So I'm going to set this in the middle of the table here. This particular one because it brings in the ceramic element. I do like to mix woods and ceramics and metals, but I also like that it has a black rim, and that really goes with the black that I'm trying to add into a space that I have a lot of light things in right now. I kind of flip-flopped. I had a house full of dark furniture, went on a painting spree last summer, and now I'm adding in just little elements of darkness here and there, and so I love the little black rim on that. It gives a kind of a nod to Farmhouse. To me, no vignette, no tablescape, anything is complete without a lamp. And so I bought this lamp. I love this lamp, like hardcore love this lamp. I love it so much I bought it in another color, and I have it in my kitchen here. And coincidentally, we're gonna get to showing you how I decorate my kitchen eventually here. But this particular one is from Kirkland's, and I love the very classic lines of it. I love the burlap shade because it matches perfectly with the curtains that I have in this house. And I just love the little spindle look. But this would not look very good by itself on there, so we're going to take this wreath. This is from Target, and I'm actually going to put the lamp in the center like this, and I mean, that just instantly pleases the eye. So let's plug this in. So whenever I do lamps like this where the other side has the cord running down, just tuck the cord inside the wreath so it's not exposed. And we're gonna address the back of this in a moment, just because this piece is not, it's kind of floating. It is floating. It is not up against a wall, which typically would conceal any sort of cords, but because we have a 360-degree view of this, we're gonna address covering the cords up behind here. So I saw these at Hobby Lobby, and there is just so much whimsy with these. I love these. They're like the little rounded, I don't know what, like heart shape kind of, but not, and they have little star yellow flowers on them. I was smitten with this. For some reason, it just made me think of like the Secret Garden or something. So I bought 4 of them because we are gonna cover up the cord in the back, which I can't stand looking at cords. I've never been able to stand it. And it drives my husband nuts because I'm always putting things in random locations to hide outlets and cords, because when my kids were little, they would go and play with them, right? And now I just think they're ugly, and I've gotten used to concealing them. So let's throw these around this. Okay, now to have some fun. I have these 2 little rustic risers that I purchased at home, and I'm gonna put these on either side of the table and put some fun things on the inside. Do you remember when I hauled these? I love these. I love everything about these. I even like how they look a little bit burnt or something happened, caught in a fire somewhere. I love the cutouts on them. I love, how many times can I say love? Like an intricate little floral, or this almost looks a little bit more French country to me, but we're gonna stick these in either of the risers here, and do they not match perfect? I mean, these were bought at completely different times. I gotta tell you, nothing tickles my fancy more than when decor items come together in a look that you've purchased on like completely different years, months, times. Now, I have a bowl of moss, and we are gonna cover up all of the inside of these risers with this beautiful moss. I will link some below, but this particular stuff I got at HomeGoods, but you can get moss a lot of places. I think this one needs just a little something extra, so I'm gonna put this cute little bird nest in there. This yet, but these are actually candle luminaries, so you can put flameless candles in here, and boy do they look really nice at night because all of these cutouts, the light just permeates through and it's really gorgeous. I have a couple kind of busted up ones, all of my other ones are in use, and so these aren't too cute, so we're actually going to hide them in there. And you can control all of the flameless candles with the remote, which makes it very, very convenient. All right, my eyes now see a problem. Do you see it? The problem is there's too much dead space here and here, so we need to fill in that space. I have 2 plate holders. I have 2 plates. These are from Hearth and Hand at Target, and we are going to set those. Which direction should we go? Maybe we'll try horizontal. And then I have these plates that I had recently showed you that I bought at HomeGoods during, well, it would have been prior to Easter, but honestly, they're just black and white bunnies, and to me this just screams spring. They're gorgeous. I love the little details, the scalloped edge and the little beading. They're just absolutely adorable, and they are going to go in front of the strike plates. I'm loving how it's coming together. So I have this Find the Joy in the Journey. I have this in my living room, but here's what I do, guys. A lot of times I will do something and then sit on it. Or I'll look at it and be like, nope, don't like it, and change it the next day. Like, I do that more often than not until I get exactly what my eyes enjoy looking at. So we're gonna put this, because the colors go well, and this is such a wonderful reminder, right over here on the end. Love that little farmhouse bead on there. And then I have these 2 adorable candles. I bought these at an antique store. I love them. Someone just like cut these and burnt, I mean, they're just the epitome of, I love them, everything. And we're gonna set these over next to, we're gonna set these over here next to the books. Something needs to go right there. This will be perfect right there. This little guy's a little crooked. that is it. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. I know it was kind of a simple little decorate with me, but I really loved right now doing a lot of creams and greens and natural tones and then bringing in the pops of color as I kind of go through the months here. I'm going to start doing my summer colors very soon, but I think having a very neutral jumping point, vantage point, it looks good all year round and it makes it easy to swap things in and out or just to pop in those pops of color for perhaps 4th of July or summertime. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. I absolutely love hanging out with you. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day and come back because we're going to be doing some more decorating very soon. Bye guys.